The Eastham Conservation Commission will hold a remote public meeting on Tuesday, June 25th at 2024 at 6 p.m. pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, MGL Chapter 30A, Sections 18 to 25, Open Meeting Law, MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and Chapter 155 of the Code of the Town of Eastham, Eastham Wetlands Protection Bylaw. And before we start, this meeting is broadcast live on Public Access Channel 8 and is available on the Eastham Town website at www.eastham-ma.gov. I'm going to ask everybody to please remain mute unless it is your turn to speak, and please let the chair know if you will be recording the meeting. And before we start, I'm going to take attendance. Janet Benjamin, she is absent tonight. Joanne Cossett.
Present.
Greg Douglas.
Here.
Mike Harnett.
Here.
Chuck Wagner is absent for the beginning of the meeting and may join us later. And Karen Strauss, I am here. First up tonight is a request for determination of applicability filed by Caitlin Carlo Hess Trust. Applicant proposes to pave existing gravel driveway at property located at 90 Mary Chase Road, map 18, parcel 089. And is there somebody to speak to this? Jason. Hi.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
For the record, this is Jason Ellis representing the Caitlin Carlo Hesse Trust. The Hesses actually have an existing gravel driveway, and the last few years they've been kind of fighting with some bad erosion, some bad washout with the heavy rains that we've been having. And it's been the gravel's been ending up in the road and across the street and whatnot. So what they would like to do is they just want to pave the driveway. There's no excavation proposed or anything like that, or widening of the driveway or anything. The driveway will stay the same width as the existing gravel driveway. They just want to pave the width of the driveway up to the flat portion of the driveway up near the garage and the house. And it's pretty straightforward. So.
Okay. So I know that some of the commission was out for a site visit this morning, and so I'll ask Mike, Greg, and Alex if they have anything they want to report or comment on from the site visit. I hear nothing. Alex.
Or I can let Greg go first if he wants.
Okay, Greg.
Sure. I mean, it seemed like a reasonable request. The hill makes it difficult to plow it in the winter. And it looks like there was some erosion on the driveway itself. The only concern is to make sure that the water runoff is sufficient, the drainage. It looks like there's a dry well as you're going down the driveway on the left. And we're just questioning, well, how big a dry well do you need for that particular activity?
Yeah, I don't think there's actually a dry well there right now. It's actually there's like a gravel swale on the side, which would be on the side. And they'd put that in there just to try to alleviate some of the runoff so that it wouldn't pour off into the road and fill up the road with gravel and silt and everything like that. So they're looking to keep that, and again, a lot of the runoff will come down there. That the portion across the street, you can see across the Mary Chase Road where the work limit is, there's a fire hydrant across the street. That's kind of the low point of Mary Chase Road. All of Mary Chase Road for probably 500 feet to the east and maybe 300 or 400 feet to the west. All of that kind of dumps into the wetland right across the street from their driveway. That's the low point there. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of fresh water that goes into the wetland right in that little area, that little 20-foot swath right across from the driveway. But yeah, so they want to kind of pitch it so it'll kind of pitch off to the side into the gravel there, and inevitably some of the runoff will end up down in the road and going across the road. But at least it won't be silt. It'll just be water, So everything else is pretty stable and very vegetated there. So.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions from the commission? Okay. So I don't have any either. I thought it was a very thorough filing. So if we might have a motion for a positive 2A, that the resource boundaries are confirmed, a negative 3, that an NOI is not needed, with 24-hour notice to the Conservation Department before any work is done.
So moved.
And a second?
Second,
Okay. Joanne,
Yes.
Greg,
yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and I am a yes also.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is request for determination of applicability filed by Clifford and Amelia Harvey. Applicant proposes to upgrade existing septic system at property located at 30 Blue Heron Way, map 18, parcel 280. And sure to speak to that? You need to unmute.
My apologies. For the record, my name is Mike Pimentel. I'm with JC Engineering. Can you folks hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So yeah, this project involves the upgrade of an existing septic system over at 30 Blue Heron Way. Currently, what they have is an existing 3-bedroom home with a conventional septic tank, pump chamber, and leaching facility. The leaching facility currently is on the west side of the property near the portion of it underneath the driveway that goes into the garage, and then the other driveway that's on the west side of the property. So what we're proposing to do is to upgrade the system with a new Title V system, and also including IA technology in the form of a microfast system. So the existing tank that's there now will be replaced with a new tank with a microfast insert. And then we are going to convey the sewage over to the existing pump chamber, utilizing it, not putting in a new one, and then simply put in a new force main from that pump chamber, going over across the driveway into a new distribution box and new leaching facility that's located in the front of the property. Now, we put it in this location just to maximize the distance from the wetland out back to the leaching system. So at its closest point, the leaching system is 90.9 feet away from the wetland. So we are asking for a variance from the 100-foot requirement in town. Also, as part of the project, we are going to have the existing well that's located in the rear of the property to be abandoned. And so the homeowner is going to put in a new water service line that's going to connect to the town's curb stop that's located just west of the existing hydrant that's in the roadway. So from that point, we'll be connecting a new water service line and running it around the east side of the house, going towards the rear side where the existing water line currently comes in from the well. So that's essentially the work that we're proposing: a new IA technology type of septic system and a new water service line. We're also going to be installing erosion control barriers between the limit of work and the wetland, just as a precaution to protect any type of erosion that might get down there. So as you can see, it's a tremendous improvement to what's there now, which is a failed septic system that's now going to employ a new microfast IA septic system. So with that, I would take any questions.
Okay. Looks like a pretty thorough application. I'd like to know if you're going to be filling the well when you abandon it, or what's the plan with that?
That's a good question. I don't know if the Board of Health has specific guidelines for that, but whatever they require is what the installer will do. But we are planning on cutting the existing water service line at the building and connecting the new service line at that location.
Okay. That's all my questions. Does anybody who's out on the site visit have anything they'd like to say? Okay. Joanne, any questions?
No, it looks like a very thorough plan.
Alex, anything?
Again, it's a very thorough plan. I don't have any questions or anything to add. Site looks good.
Okay. All right. So if we could have a motion for a positive 2A, a negative 3, and special conditions for septic systems.
So
So
moved.
moved.
And a second?
Second.
Mike, oh. Okay, so who,
Greg got.
Greg moved and Mike seconded. Okay, Mike,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Luann,
Yes.
and I am a yes also. Thank you,
Uh,
Mike.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, next we have a request for determination of applicability filed by Ellen and Martin Ridge. Applicant proposes to install a new septic system and water service installation at property located at 5 Benz Way, map 01, parcel 078. And I think this is Jason again.
Yep. So again, Jason Ellis for the record, representing Ellen and Martin Ridge. The Ridges are in the process of selling their house, and the septic didn't pass inspection, so we had to upgrade the current septic system. We're looking to put in a new 1,500-gallon septic tank and a new leach area. And we just try to get the leach area as far as we can from the resource area. There's not a lot of room there. There's a salt marsh and a flood zone to the east, and also a bordering vegetated wetland and another flood zone on the south and west side of the property. So we tried to get the leach area up on the north side of the property as best we could. We do have an Orenco Advantex nitrogen reducing system that's proposed here, and they're also looking to install a new water line and abandon the existing well on the property. So it's fairly straightforward. All of this can be done without losing any trees. It's just a lawn area that would be restored after the construction occurs. So again, it's very straightforward, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, I think this is also a pretty thorough application. I don't have any questions. Does anybody from the commission have anything?
No questions
Okay.
here.
Alex, anything?
No, the site looked good again. The bugs chased us away this morning, but besides that, it's pretty good.
Okay, so if we could have a motion for a positive 2A, a negative 3, and special conditions for a septic system.
So moved.
Okay, yeah, and a second?
Second.
Okay, Joanne,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
and I'm a yes also.
Thank you.
Jason.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have an extension permit filed by Julie Dixon for SE 19-1827 to construct a patio with an outdoor fire pit, outdoor shower, driveway, walkway, retaining wall, and install a stone trench around the house foundation at property located at 710 State Highway, Unit 3, Map 21, Parcel 063C. And is there any questions, comments, etc. here? So I'm assuming this is a 3-year extension that's being requested. So if we might have a motion for that.
So moved.
Oh, Alex, okay, before I ask for a second, Alex, you had something?
In the letter, they requested an 18-month
18
extension.
months? Okay. Sorry, I missed that. So we could have the motion again. Right.
So moved. 18.
Okay. 18. And a second?
Second.
Okay, Joanne,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I'm a yes also. Okay, now we have a certificate of compliance filed by Nina and David Bennett for SE 19-1717 for an addition and reconfiguration of an existing driveway and installation of a water service at property located at 455 Herringbrook, map 14, parcel 5A. And I know you were heading out there for a site visit. So does anybody have any comments on this? Alex?
Yeah, Greg and I got out to this site, and it looked good. We went and looked back at the mitigation plantings, and it looked like most, if not all of them, have taken. We counted some of the larger plantings. There's some shrubbery and some native trees that were put in, and again, they all looked good. As far as the project itself, it looked like it was completed as was proposed on the plan. So I would recommend issuing a certificate of compliance for this project.
Greg, anything to add?
No, I think it looked great. The mediation looked well as well. Looked good as well.
Okay, so if we could have a motion to approve a certificate of compliance.
Actually,
For-
back,
Sorry,
I need to
Alex?
back, I'm not sure if they requested any ongoing conditions.
Ah,
Is there anyone to speak to this tonight? We didn't meet anyone out on the site.
doesn't look like it. So that leaves us with I'm afraid I didn't notice one way or the other in the plan, so
Yeah,
which leaves us options of continuing it until the next meeting. Or
well, I think
approving.
we are running up on the.
Okay,
I mean, they didn't request any, so I'd be comfortable
So,
proceeding issuing
okay.
the certificate of compliance.
all right. So since they didn't request, we have nothing to apply here. So if we might have a motion to grant the certificate of compliance. Sorry, I've lost the SE number. Certificate of compliance for SE 19-18. Sorry, SE 19-1717 for 455 Herringbrook Road.
So moved.
And a second,
Second?
Greg,
Yes.
Joanne,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and I am a yes also. So motion, certificate of compliance is approved. Okay. Next up is a plan change request for Craig and Lynn Perry, SE 19-1887. Applicant requests modifications to the approved patios and walkways at property located at 15 Sunset Lane and 40 Bayshore Lane, map 13, parcel 138 and 136F. And I know you were out there for a site visit as well. So are there any comments after the site visit? Doesn't look like it. Any questions from the commission?
No, this is, I'm sorry.
But go ahead, Greg.
No, it seemed that they were making some adjustments from using pressure treated wood to stone pavers, and it's all seemed reasonable, an improvement.
Okay, and I'm sorry I didn't invite the applicant to speak, but it looked like this might be something we could just approve without that, unless there's something you'd like to say.
No, that's fine. This is for the record, Mike Bose from Ty and Bond, and I also believe we have Callie Casey from Bernice Waller. Yeah, these are just minor modifications. We're actually reducing the coverages within the 0 to 50 and the 50 to 100. So yeah, we would love for you guys to just be able to do the modification to the existing order of conditions, which would be great.
Okay. And seeing that there seem to be no comments, if we can have a motion to approve the plan change request for SE 19-1887.
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mike,
Yes.
Joanne,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
I am a yes as well. So you are approved.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Next, we have a plan change request by DeVito, Voke and Gumble, SE 19-1862, Applicant requests revisions to the beach stairs at property located at 235 and 205 Shortcliffe Road, map 7, parcels 193 and 195. And just, is there somebody here to speak to this one?
Hi, it's Brian Vogt. It's a change. There was at the meeting with Alex and the engineer last winter. They advised they were going to just put rock revetment in, not do the granite steps, and the builder's going to put in wooden steps, and at the bottom some removable aluminum steps, and it's just reflected in the drawing.
Mhm. Okay, so I do have a question about the aluminum removable steps. We've permitted quite a few of these that retract into the upper portion of the staircase. So I'm wondering what your plan here with this one is. Is it going to be removed and stored somewhere upland from the beach, or is it one of the ones that's going to get pulled into the staircase?
I'm told it's going to swing up
Swing up.
onto
Okay.
the stairs so that it can then be folded down and so to be stored on the stairs.
Okay. So we've seen those as well. So there's going to be something to lock it in place once it's swung up.
Yes.
Okay. Just noting that the details are not, it's not very detailed in the plan change submission. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay. Alex?
I just wanted to confirm that no PT is going to come into contact with the sandbank. It was hard to tell during our site visit, but it looked like potentially some of the support beams on one of the platforms could be coming close to ground contact. So I just wanted to double check with that.
Yeah, I know the builders got that on there, and there might have been a little sand that came down with the rain because it's eroding, but he's making sure that does not happen.
All right. So I think the no PT needs to be just included in language as if we approve this, and also a plan note that the stairs will fold up into the wooden section and have a mechanism to lock it in place. And in that that plan design would be shown in the as-built. So if nobody has any additional here, if we could have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
In a second.
Second?
Okay. Greg?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also. Okay. Brian, you've been approved.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I understand this. It's just no pressure treated in contact with the sand.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of your time and your volunteering. It's very admirable.
Thank you for the kind words.
Okay.
Okay, next we have administrative review filed by Raymond Brodeur. Applicant proposes to expand existing deck at property located at 18 Nicoma Way, map 10, parcel 318. And I believe this is our gentleman on the phone from earlier. You can unmute now if you'd like.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I've had the call before you dig people come out just to make sure that we don't run into any problems. And the cable guy, the Eversource guy, and the National Grid fellows came out and marked the lines. And the only line that needs to be marked now is the water line by the Eastham Water Department. And I'm just wondering, is there somebody that I should call to ask them to come out?
Well, I would think that would be the water department.
Okay, all right, I'll give them a call tomorrow.
Well, thank you for your thoroughness in seeing to all of that.
You're welcome.
Now, I don't have any questions on this. Does anybody who was out at the site visit or anybody else on the commission or Alex?
Mr. Broder, it looked like the support beams on your existing deck are in cement footings. Is that the plan as well going forward with your expansion?
According to the carpenters that I'm hiring, they're using something different than sonotubes filled with cement. And he explained to me that it's something that you only dig down about, I think, 12 to 18 inches, and then there are some sort of like 4 feet that come out and go deep into the sand, so that it goes down 48 inches. That's what he said.
Okay, yeah, that
And,
sounds like diamond pure footings, perhaps, which is
yes, that's what he
certainly an
called it. That's what he-
appropriate method. So I've no issues with this project as it's proposed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments here?
Yeah, I just want to note, I think I saw in the paperwork that sonotubes were listed as the material. I think we can approve it. And we could
Mhm.
say either, I think either sonotubes or diamond pilings work. Then we could say either or, just to be on the safe side.
Okay, I never heard of this diamond thing until the guys came out and said that these were actually better than sonotubes filled with cement, according to them. So that's why I didn't put it into the application, because I had never knew that this existed. But yes, if you can, do you want me if you want to add that to the application, certainly do so.
I think that makes sense, as the application itself does say sonotubes. Any other questions from the commission? No. Okay, so if we could have a motion for a positive 2B and a negative 3, with the condition that it either be sonotubes or diamond helical piers with special conditions for decks and shed. Alex?
Or this is an AR, not an
It is.
RDA.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so we don't need that. So if we could just have a motion to approve this with approval for either sonotubes or helical piers with the standard conditions for special conditions for decks and sheds.
So moved.
And a second?
Second,
Okay, Joanne,
yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and I am a yes also. Okay.
Thank you very much, board members. Thank you so much for all your help. I appreciate it.
Okay, and thank you for joining us in person, or live anyway. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so next up, we have a notice of intent filed by Russell Sandbloom. Applicant proposes truck access to Shellfish Grant B29 located at 650 South Pumpkin Meadow Road, map 01, parcel 97A. And we are still waiting for responses from NHESP and DMF on this. So if we could have a motion to continue this to our next meeting, which will be July 23rd.
I'll make a motion to continue this to our next meeting.
Okay, is there a second?
Second,
Okay, Joanne,
yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
and I am a yes as well. Okay, next we have an amended order of conditions filed by Margaret Saraldi for SE 19-1893. Applicant proposes to add a covered porch and a second floor deck at property located at 60 McGurty Road, map 07, parcel 436.
Jason Ellis again, representing Margaret Saraldi. And if you recall, this project was before you several months ago, and you issued an order of conditions for their addition on the front of the house. And after some consideration, they wanted to see if they could get a deck on the back of the house too, a 10-by-16 deck. That would be, it's a second story deck. So they already have a patio, like a concrete slab patio, and then a paver patio back there. So this would be second story deck over that patio area. And then there's a little front step area that's about 52 square feet. They would like to take that off and make a covered porch that's 33 square feet. So that would be reducing the that area there. So the area that's the proposed area that would be above what's already existing actually would be covered within the mitigation area that we proposed last time for the 288 square feet. So so that would be the same amount of area. There's only a 20-foot difference, 20-foot increase, a square foot between what you approved before and what we're looking for now. So be happy to try to answer any questions you might have on this.
Okay, I do not have any. Does anybody else on the commission have any questions or comments here? No, Alex?
More of just a comment. You know, I don't think any additional conditions are needed for the proposed work. It's more or less, well, I think it is covered in the original order. So if this is approved, I don't think they need to add any other conditions to it. And the site looks good. It looks like it'd be minimal disturbance. So I have no issue.
Okay, and absent any comments from the commission, oh, Joanne?
Yeah, sorry, I just want to be clear on the deck, the second story deck you're floating over the patio. Does that mean the supports go onto the patio and so there's nothing, maybe I missed it, so apologies if I missed it, but just want to make sure there's nothing touching the ground, it's being supported by the patio, or how is that going to work?
So they would have to cut a hole in the concrete patio and also a hole in the paver patio, and basically the post hole digger dig a sonotube in, or one of those diamond footings that you were talking about
Okay.
on the last hearing, just to support the two posts coming down off that deck. It would be likely 2 6x6 posts coming down onto 2 footings there that would have to go down about 32 to 36 inches into the ground. The groundwater's not far there, but and then would just be filled in around that, you know, where the cut occurred through the slab and whatnot. So
Sounds good. Thank you for the clarification.
yeah, no problem.
Okay. Last call for comments? Okay, so if we could have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And a second, please.
Second?
Okay, Greg,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Joanne,
Yes,
and I'm a yes as well. Okay, thank you, Jason.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, next up, we have a violation of 76 Old State Highway. And maybe, Alex, you want to introduce this a little, and then we'll open it up. I think it was Robert Seltzer. I'm sorry, I lost my other, and Brian Ames. So, okay.
Yes, we have Ames Marine with us this evening. I've done a site visit here prior to the meeting, and talked to Brian. The support pilings for this pier were replaced, pressure treated 4x4 posts. I believe that happened earlier this year in April. Yeah. No, initially we were having a hard time finding the original order for this pier, and I've since found that order. So the pier itself is permitted. I think that was kind of up in the air initially, but we've tracked that down. So with that, I think I'll hand it over to Ames Marine.
Thanks, Alex. I just want to update you guys. We did replace the 4x4 posts with pressure treat. The main reason was for a structural concern. Last year, when we moved the supporting uprights, the what looked like were shipworms, which are mollusks, had destroyed the insides of the fir posts that were there originally. There was a mixed age of those posts. A few of those posts were approximately 1 year old. Some of those are 5 years old. And last summer, over the course of the summer, they came through and destroyed all of them, to the point where during removal, a couple of them broke and almost caused injury to myself and my crew. So my main concern there was structure and safety for ourselves, for the homeowner, and for any renters or other people that access the dock. I know the pressure treat is definitely frowned upon and not allowed for use. I've just been trying to troubleshoot the situation because that was quite concerning for us. And like I said, it was more towards structure and safety, and I'm willing to troubleshoot and do whatever it takes to make it work. We've had luck with the pressure treated posts elsewhere in Orleans, and I went ahead and did that. So I'm just looking to troubleshoot this as best to keep in compliance with everyone involved, and to make it work and have it be ecologically sound.
Okay, so I'm gathering you might not have been aware that you should have permitted this before any work?
So that was another thing that came up, usually with the seasonal piers in other towns. And as I looked at it through the bylaw, the course of maintaining, repairing, replacing, but not substantially changing or enlarging an existing and lawfully located structure. Since the pier is seasonal by nature, it all comes out every winter. So us to make any replacements as far as that goes, my interpretation was that no NOI was necessary. It would just be as accepted because there's no work being done on site. We store all the parts upland, up in his driveway, and to do replacements, we do the site off work in our shop located in Harwich. So there's no change other than what goes in for the following season. So that was my interpretation of not filing for a notice of intent that way, because it's been done that way in other towns. That's no excuse. That was just my interpretation.
Okay, and so you're telling me that all of those posts are removed every year?
Every season, it's a season. They're removed. That's the nature of a seasonal pier. The posts come out, we store them up in the driveway, and then we repair, maintain, and replace as necessary. We might do patchwork repairs or replace entire supports, which we did for this year. I think we did a total of 8 of them that had been totally destroyed by the shipworms and the marine boars. So we'd done that. So there was we replace it offsite, but it gets installed every year. The whole dock comes in and out every year, including the float, the ramp, and the pipes, which is the nature of the seasonal pier construction.
Okay. So let me just ask how the posts go in every year. Is that?
Yep. So past practice and common practice is that we actually jet the posts in. We use a water jet and we jet them in every year.
Okay. I'm okay. Most of the other piers that we have are not quite that seasonal. So.
Right. That's yep. That's there's a few across the bay in Orleans, and so just that's why I kind of wanted to give you an education that everything's separate when we do the work, and it goes back in. So essentially the whole unit comes in and out. Excuse me, every year, and we use a water jet to do that.
That seems very impactful to the environment and any shellfish beds every year. But I guess we're not really re-permitting a dock from the ground up here. So
Right.
um,
If it makes any more sense, we set the docks up and line them up so they essentially go back in the same holes. So we're not displacing fresh ground or anything like that. We lined up. It's easier for us, and it's also less impactful as we do it. And so it goes in pretty quickly without, there's no new growth or vegetation that get affected as much in the process with that way.
okay. And can you tell us what type of PT is used?
Sure. It was I've got it right here. It was micronized copper azole, and I think the treatment level it's a range anywhere from 0.08 pounds per cubic foot to 0.15. As an example, pilings are treated to usually 2.5 pounds, and the old pressure treat from 20 years ago, the residential pressure treat was around 0.6 or 0.4 per pounds per cubic foot. So this is about the lightest treatment available that we could possibly use to try and, to troubleshoot this and see if it has, makes any improvements without going out of compliance.
Okay, because we don't approve
The pressure
PT
treat.
for direct contact with the water.
Right, okay.
And so the question is what we'd
Alternative.
like to do at this point. It's going to come out again in the fall.
Yes, last
So-
year it came out in October. So it's probably about halfway through the season.
Okay.
And obviously moving forward, we will do anything and everything to be in compliance. If we have to replace those, obviously we want to keep that intact and be in compliance with you guys. It was just a tricky troubleshooting situation to try and see if the dock wouldn't get chewed up in a season. This is kind of where we were at. So it does come out in October.
So for me, the question is, I'd like to see the PT replaced with something that we would normally approve.
Okay.
If when it goes back in, and then the question is, to my mind, whether we let this stay for the season or whether we ask you to take it out now. But that's me. I'm going to open it up to the rest of the commissioners and see where they are on this. Mike?
I think we could ask for the best professional opinion of what they can replace it with. So before we determine whether we should take it out, is there a product and they could, what can they replace it in? Particularly a pier that comes in and out every year that would change, the available materials. So before I'd say we jump in and have it pulled out, we'd wait, ask for and get a report on what it can be replaced with. That's what I would think.
Okay. Joanne?
Yeah, I'd say I kind of agree with Mike. It sounds like these worms will be an ongoing problem if it's replaced with other material, which could cause, additional problems and more posts coming in and out, more activity. I don't know that wrapping it sounds appropriate given it's in the water, but I'm questioning that. Like, is that, if it needs to be a wood that is resistant to these worms, is that an option? But given it's in the water, maybe not. So yeah, I'm kind of in the same mindset as Mike. Like, let's figure out what the replacement or the solution's going to be, and then go from there.
Okay. Anything from you, Greg?
I agree with Mike as well. I think that we need to see what the options are before we move forward.
Yeah, I find myself agreeing as well. Alex and then Hillary.
I am looking through the file now, and I found an old request for a certificate of compliance dated January 19th, 2007. A letter from the Conservation Commission. Let's see. there's no date on it, but it was sent after receiving the request. But it says a certificate of compliance was not issued. The project. Because the original order was for a permanent pier, not for a seasonally removed pier. So I think that is definitely something we'd have to figure out here.
Definitely. Sounds like that.
So why is the pier removed seasonally, and why is it not a permanent pier?
That was originally how it was built. I was not involved in the permitting process, nor
Okay.
was I involved with the original plans back 20 years ago or approximately 20 years ago when it was probably built.
Yeah.
The seasonal piers, there's a number of them in Pleasant Bay. They follow under the ACEC designation where no permanent structures are allowed. And so a majority of the seasonal piers in Pleasant Bay and a few in Town Cove are seasonal by nature. So that's, I guess, I can't really speak for who was involved at the time and who the owner was and what they said. But that's sort of a common practice in the ACEC area, at least in Pleasant Bay, in Harwich, Chatham, and Orleans. And I think obviously there was some, I can't speak to exactly why that is. That's how it's been. We've been servicing it, or I've been servicing it since I bought the company since 2013, and it had been done that way for a number of years. So we just followed past practice and continued, the yearly seasonal install and removal as such.
Okay, so you know this is not an ACEC area.
Yes, I do. I was just
Okay.
using that as an example. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Alex?
No, that's all I have.
Okay, Hillary?
I was gonna inquire, based on the information in the file, does it make sense for Ames Marine to go back and talk to their client about perhaps redesigning and coming back to us with a application for a permanent dock with the right type of material? I wonder if that might be palatable. Because it doesn't sound to me like they have permission at the moment to do any work within the ground.
Right, and it's also sounding like the current dock they have in place is not in compliance with the original order.
Correct.
So, yeah. So I'm going to ask Brian Ames and Robert Seltzer if they want to perhaps take some time to consider this and then come back and perhaps talk to us again.
I'd be happy to go down that road and go down and make everything compliant because that's our goal as well. So I'd be happy to do that. Robert, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think this is Bob. I think we could look at all options, sort of make sure that we get it right. And
Right.
I got the property in 2021, so don't really have a long history with this. And I looked through my files. I didn't have anything on dock paperwork, unfortunately. But yeah, we could take a look at different options and then come back to you and get your feedback on those.
How does that sound to the rest of the commission?
Sounds good to me. A couple of things though. One, that means it sounds like we're giving a significant amount of time to work through this, which means the pier would stay as it is for right now. So just acknowledging that. And then also, if we can be clear, are we talking about essentially, since this is not what the paperwork Alex says, that we are starting from the beginning about designing a solution here. So they could apply for a temporary pier. They could apply for a permanent pier. It has to be fixed no matter what that decision is, but we're essentially starting from the beginning, right?
It kind of sounds like we're saying that this was not in compliance with the original order. We don't normally permit piers that are seasonal to this extent. And that,
I mean, they could have a valid reason for wanting it to be seasonal, but they would need
Mhm.
to propose that, right? So it sounds like we would have to, sounds like we need some sort of application even
Mhm.
to correct the current status. Is that right?
I think that's what it sounds like because yeah.
So just
And as
clarifying that it's not a solution like here's how I'm going to fix the temporary pilings for now. It's literally like that it's going to be an application process.
right, but it also sounds from what Alex and Hillary have said that there's actually no order in place that allows the work to be done to take the dock out and
Out.
put it
Good
back
point.
in,
Yeah.
because the original order was for a permanent dock and the original order has expired, and it seems like it's in really some kind of limbo without any permissions to do any work on the site at all. And we're kind of talking this through because some of this info is kind of new to the commission as well tonight. So Alex and Hillary, if you'd like to jump in.
Or if you want to go first, Hillary, I could follow up.
Sure, I was just gonna confirm what Joanne was asking, that there is no active order on the property because that has since expired. There wasn't a certificate of compliance issued with ongoing conditions to put in and take out. So they have no permit that allows them to do any work within the ground at the moment. So that's why I was sort of curious about this and what was in the file, because it's an unusual situation. So I think they would have to pause. What's in the ground is in the ground unless we wanted to issue them an emergency certification to remove it, and ask that they come back with a full application to do whatever it is they intend to do for the future.
So it kind of sounds like if we want them to remove it, we'd have to give some permission, an emergency order for that if we wanted that to happen sooner rather than later, and that in order to do any work at all, we're probably going to need a NOI, as the original order has long since expired and there's nothing that provides any conditions for any work or that allows for any work. So that sounds like where it is. So the question seems to be for the, now that we've talked it all out, the question seems to be for the commission is whether we want this to come out, and it's going to have to come out, I think, at some point, as it really doesn't meet the conditions we usually have for docks and it's PT, but you might have a different thought. But in order to continue to have this dock and do work and fix anything, we're going to need a proper NOI and a hearing and so on, as if it were a new dock. Is that kind of where we are? Okay, and we've kind of talked around it a bit tonight, and I apologize for that, but as we're kind of learning our way along here, this is what seems to have unfolded. So really, back to the commission, and what are your thoughts on leaving it or removing it pending a proper filing? Mike?
I would say, while we're waiting for the proper filing, we would just leave it. But it would still take time for us to grant a permit for them to take it out. So it's going to come out fairly quick. October's not that far away. So I would say leave it until we can, at least for this, until we can have a proper hearing on what to do, how to go forward.
And if we do that, it sounds like we need, it probably will take some time to put together a full doc NOI filing. So if we wanted it to come out in the fall, we might have to have that process as a separate filing from the NOI.
That's what I was gonna raise, Karen. I think we should, worst case scenario, make sure that the right paperwork is in place to pull it out at the end of the season. And so that we should have the owners move forward with that paperwork.
Okay, and it sounds like you all are okay to let them have the dock for the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna ask you, Brian, and you, Robert, if that sounds like a plan that you're willing to work with us.
Yes, absolutely.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
We can look at the schedule, see if we can pull it back a few weeks instead of October, maybe, September.
Yes, I was going to volunteer that as well, that it's flexible. That way we can take it out in September or whatever. It makes it better for everybody.
Mhm. And just keep in contact with Alex as you work on this. I know, Alex, you have your hand up, so go ahead.
I just wanted to say I'd be happy to meet with Bob and Brian and look through this file together and share, documents that we have for the pier that's currently in place, just that we're all on the same page.
Mhm. Yeah, and we do recognize, of course, that Robert, being a new owner, that he might not be aware of requirements that we have in town and so on. So hopefully we'll sort that all out so that there's smooth sailing one after this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and thank you for coming to talk to us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
So we'll follow up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Next we have up liaison reports. And Alex.
So we do have one more violation that wasn't on the agenda, but look at my hand. So as you know, I sent a letter to the Dalgiesis about the dumping in the wetland buffer at 284 State Highway. In that letter, I gave them until June 24th to address it. I went on a site visit today. The dumping is still in place. So we previously issued a $200 citation for this, and if the commission agrees, as indicated in my letter, that additional fines would be issued if it's not addressed. So I think it's warranted that we give a $300 fine to the Dalgiesis.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so my question with that is that I think the expectation is that it will not produce results if past is prologue. So what other options might we have here? Or do we need to send them out this second notice with the additional fine before we move on anything else? Hillary?
I don't think it will be fruitful either, but we can certainly pursue it through the Superior Court. And I don't think we were going to get bogged down with a lot of time in issuing fines. I think we were going to look on a monthly basis. And if a month goes by and nothing's been done, we'll issue a month's worth of citations in one shot. So I think it's worth a try to pursue it through the courts and collect some money on it. Again, I'm not expecting great things here, but I think it's worth a try. And I think it's not a heavy lift for us to issue citations in that way.
Okay, and you're allowed to issue citations for the whole month at once?
Yeah,
Okay.
So what would that look like? So that's a citation every day for a month?
No, so what I've done in the past is just issue one citation in the amount of $1,200 or however many days it is times the amount, and then we just make it clear on the ticket that it's for this period of time. And again, I mean, we
But-
use it more to gain compliance than actually collect money. So I
Mhm.
think we're just gonna try this and see where we get, if anywhere.
I guess my question was, so the amount in that citation is, a month's worth of daily fines?
Yeah, yes,
Yep.
correct. Yes. Sorry, I
Noted.
misunderstood.
And this is a second offense? Or,
Yes.
So this is now the third offense, right? So we had,
third? We had the previous dumping at the location.
Yeah.
Was there another one that I'm forgetting about?
sorry, a bunch of motorcycles just went by. I didn't hear what you said, Karen.
I said we have the previous one of a very similar nature.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think-
I don't remember another one in addition to that, besides this one.
Well, previously we had the one in the fall, and then we
Mhm.
have this one. So I guess technically this is the second,
Mhm.
the second offense.
Correct.
Okay, so that would be $200.
$200. Yeah.
If we're all in agreement.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it's interesting, just Hillary, the way you do the fines, because our previous agents were very much, you'd have to issue one each day individually.
It just doesn't work that way. I mean,
Mhm.
we're not gaining anything, and we can't go out and look at it every day because we've got
Right.
too many other things to do. And with
Mhm.
something like dumping, we have a picture of it from day one. So when we go back on day 30, if it's still there, then he gets 30 days. If we go back on day 30 and it's cleaned up, then we don't issue another citation. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we could be losing, I don't know, $900 or so, but
Mhm.
in the long run, we're really seeking compliance.
Right. And I wasn't really questioning, I was just noting.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
this would be this would be a change in
Yes.
how we're dealing with this, and it seems like a reasonable change to me. And if the court accepts that, then that's fine. And we certainly don't want you guys to be running around writing a fine every single day if it doesn't need to be done that way, I think. So, Alex?
So I just want to make sure I've got this right. So we'll be sending another letter with a $200 citation. Do we give them another 2 weeks to clean it up? And then after that, does the clock start ticking with the daily citations adding up?
So in the letter, we advise him that he will be getting a daily ticket issued on a monthly basis, commencing on such and such a date. So we spell out what our plan is.
Mhm.
Okay.
So that would be a reasonable time in which to respond to the correspondence. And if they don't and haven't addressed it with us, the fine would then become a daily fine until such time as we decide it's time to quit,
So can I make
basically.
that
That right?
date
Mhm.
July 12th? That's Friday, July 12th.
I'm fine with that. You guys?
Like July 1st. Why the 12th?
Well, that's,
All
I
right.
think-
you have the
Well, we
letter.
gotta mail the letter and that, and that'll give them 2 weeks to clean it up. And then after that 2 weeks, that's when the additional fines will start adding up.
Okay, I mean, he's had 2 weeks, right? But, all right.
and the original was sent return receipt or certified return receipt? And we got
I'm
the
not sure if
return receipt.
I'm not sure if we got a return, a signed receipt from it. Have
Is
we
it
any-
sent with, is it sent with delivery confirmation as well? So,
I don't believe we received anything yet.
because a lot of those certified letters you can look up online, and the post office will have its own delivery notification.
Yeah, I can look that up in the morning and let you know, Alex.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
But I also believe the last one we sent actually was returned. They didn't even pick it up.
Uh,
Okay. But it is an exercise that has to be done, so. All right. Now, liaison reports. I have nothing from the Strategic Planning Committee or Open Space. Hillary?
Real quick, just thinking about the letters, we generally send a certified and an uncertified, so, you know, then we at least know it got there. But does Eastham have a constable? Wellfleet had a constable that could deliver important things. Does anyone know?
I don't know.
Okay, no worries. I'll look into it.
And I thought that the conservation agent was basically sworn in as a constable in order to be able to issue the ticket.
No,
Is
he
that-
can issue the ticket. Yes, we can issue the tickets, but the constable like hunts down people and delivers them their important mail.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure what
what-
to do.
Well, the
I-
address
I-
we have on file that the town has is a Braintree address. So this is being sent off Cape.
Okay, so we can reach out to Braintree too and see if they have one.
But that is not the address where Del Gizzi, or at least one of the Del Gizzis live. So it's just an address, I guess, for the business. This is a business under
This
a business.
is going to, I think it's in a trust,
Okay.
and both of their names is on it, Daniel and David.
So maybe it's going to an agent or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, anything else on this? All righty, so liaison reports. I have nothing for open space or, oh, yes, I do have one thing for open space. Open space is not having a July meeting and will meet again in August. The Strategic Planning Committee will meet July 10th and we'll be presenting a draft update to the select board, currently scheduled for July 22nd. And then we'll be doing presentations to various boards. Concom is scheduled for one of the 2 August meetings, and also sharing the draft for comments with a public presentation in mid-August, and with other stakeholder committees for comments to be all submitted by September. And or anything on the forest committee?
We're proposing still putting it together, but it looks like it's going to happen on July 16th. We're going to do a walkthrough to see what we're going to do in the fall. The 16th at 9 in the parking lot.
All right. You guys do very good work.
Well, thank you.
All right, so education and training updates. Anybody have anything? Nope. Okay. Minutes, the May 4th, 2024 minutes. So has everybody had a chance to review any changes, comments, etc.?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Joanne,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Greg?
I wasn't there. Can I approve the
Okay.
minutes?
You can still vote for minutes.
Oh, good. I vote to approve then.
Okay. And I'm a yes as well. So we're done with that. So other discussion, we're gonna come back to our tree administrative review, and then after that, we'll talk about signage for Wiley, Nickerson, and conservation areas, which was left off the agenda, but the Open Space Committee has submitted some stuff, and okay, so tree stuff. At our last meeting, we proposed to, with certain conditions, to have Alex do the administrative review on some trees instead of bring it to the whole commission, and I just lost my notes on that. All right. So maybe Alex, you want to talk about where we are?
Yeah, and you can correct me if I didn't get this right, but I tried summarizing what we discussed last meeting. So I guess essentially I'd be able to administer an AR for 1 to 3 trees, if they're dead, hazardous, diseased, or damaged. And then we mentioned that we didn't want this to include big trees. So then I picked 2 feet DBH. And if you want to go smaller, that's fine too. I understand we don't have our Lorax with us tonight, so.
Yeah, but she was in favor
Was.
of what we had discussed, which I think was 1 to 2 trees.
Was I 1 to 2?
But, you know, if other people are interested in expanding it to 3. So we had included for your sign off, hazardous trees, storm damage, pests, dead trees. With large trees, you're suggesting 2-foot DBH to come to the commission. And we had also talked about a preference for pruning instead of removal where that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And I'd like to add snags where appropriate.
Correct, yeah. I know we've conditioned, cutting trees to a certain height, 12 to 15 feet, leaving the trunk in place. That'd be something I would certainly strongly encourage for these homeowners to consider.
Okay, so we're going to make this a you don't have to raise your hand conversation as long as you don't talk over anybody else. So if you have any thoughts or comments or additions, changes, and really, what do you think about 3 trees? What do you think about 2-foot DBH?
Yeah, what is the heritage tree? Is it 2 foot? Is that what the 2 foot stands for? Like in terms of the trunk? Isn't there some rule that's going through the town or some approval process to identify what heritage trees are on everybody's lot? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's 2 feet. It's such a height on the tree. I'm just.
I think that
It's
was
the 2 feet with DBH is diameter at breast height
Okay. All right.
for,
think
I
that-
guess, an average height person.
Yeah, and that would mostly cover pitch ponds that you'd want to take down, and if they're at 2 feet DBH, they're old, and so they'd be, ready to come down.
Yeah, because trees do have a life cycle.
Yeah,
But we also have had some large oaks and other non-pine trees.
but not too many. I mean, basically, like, look at Wiley Park, that was, looks like, we don't have any old trees in it, so it was
Right.
probably all cut down at one time, and offhand, I can't think of any giant, big trees in Eastham that are really big.
Well, there were, but some of them have come down in storms.
I Yeah,
And then we had one violation where somebody cut down, I think, 12 trees, including a very, very large old oak without a permit.
yeah, those are cedars, weren't they?
N- There were cedars plus this oak.
Yeah. Well, so anyway,
And so-
we're talking about what Alex can do on his.
I'm wondering if
Right.
we can flag anything that's like a that if it's if someone who's an arborist is working with the property owner and provides a report that says the tree is diseased or at the end of its life cycle, like if they can conclusively say on paper, I'm signing as an arborist that this tree is dead and or on the verge of death and or diseased so badly it needs to come down. Like I think all of those are fine. So I would guess, Mike, that's helps with a pitch pine issue because if somebody says, well, it's a pitch pine, it's the end of its life, it needs to come down, and it's an arborist, and we're like, okay, I mean that seems like that's okay. But if you don't have, that opinion from somebody, and you're just asking to take down a tree that's beyond 2 feet, then you'd have to come to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So where are you on it being up to 3 trees?
I don't know. I'm trying to channel my Lorax.
Well, Janet would be probably a no on 3.
Right.
She was okay with 2.
I mean, what's the difference between 2 and 3? And the difference is really to me, it's the difference is whether it's a well-vegetated area with a lot of trees or not. So, I wouldn't be happy with 2 trees coming down if there were no other trees on the property, but I think that's that's a judgment call that Alex is capable of making. So if it's a forested plot, I don't see the difference between 2 and 3. But I think, I don't know, yeah, maybe we don't want to give up our power, but it seems like that's a call that Alex could make. At least Alex. I mean, I don't know. You never want to make decisions for the person. You want to make it for the position, right? So like,
Right. Right.
But yes, in general, I don't see a difference between 2 and 3. It's really a judgment call on how many trees exist on the property, as a ratio, in my opinion. So it's fine. 2 versus 3 to me doesn't make a difference.
Well, to me, there's some part of that's where the trees are located and not just the general forested nature of the site, but if removing 3 trees would cause an issue with, I don't know, stormwater or something in particular, or would leave a giant gap, and then we'd want to maybe talk more about what kind of mitigation might be needed for 3 than for 2. But I think we still have our 2-to-1 replacement requirement.
So maybe to be on the safe side, we stick with 2.
We also could try 1 to 2, see how that works for a while.
Yeah.
Alex doing periodic reporting like he's doing with the water service stuff.
Yeah.
And give it a trial, see how we like it, and come back and talk about adding more.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because I don't know, I still remember we wanted a tree down, you'd call up the Natural Resources Department. Henry Lind would say, I'll be over in a day or 2. He'd come by, look at the tree, and sign off on the spot. So, and I think some of the trees that people come asking to take down certainly would fall within that pretty easily. But yeah, so, okay, to sum this up, we would give Alex sign off on an administrative review for 1 to 2 trees. Our standard 2-to-1 replacement, I guess we do within ourselves have that. If it's a really wooded lot and taking out these trees, we don't always do mitigation if it's a very wooded lot, and so I think we're going to give Alex a little bit of discretion there as well. He's, I think, very well acquainted with everybody's thoughts on this, as we've had
Yes.
many discussions.
Yes.
So yeah, so 1 to 2 trees, 2 to 1 replacement with some wiggle room, leaving a snag of 12 to 15-foot height as appropriate there. This would include hazardous trees, storm damage, pest, dead trees, other trees as certified by an arborist, as we've discussed. Large trees of 2-foot DBH or more would come to the commission to discuss, and where possible, in place of removal would be appropriate pruning. And I think that sums up where
Yep.
we are. So if you're all in agreement, I think we maybe should just make a motion to that effect to give Alex the authority.
I'll make such a motion to give, as per the discussion you just gave, to give Alex permission to do that.
Okay. Do you have a second?
Second,
Okay. Joanne,
yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
and I'm a yes also. Okay. So, all right, good. Next up, which didn't make it onto the agenda, we've been talking about signage at conservation areas, particularly Wiley and Nickerson, in regard to the changed regulations that we adopted in November. So the Open Space Committee has made some recommendations on signage that you've all received in your email, including icons and such to go on the signs and where the placement of the signs would be. And this would be another one of those jump in as you want to conversations. So I think, any thoughts on their proposal?
I can't find the post right now, but it looked to be just stickers, right?
Yeah, for the moment. And then I think the idea is to try that for the summer and look at possible replacement of signs in the fall for next year.
And you're sticking them on existing signs.
Yes. And then and a full set of regulations would go up at Wiley, where that sign case is, where notices are posted, which is near
Like the
I guess,
kiosk.
the kiosk,
Yeah.
near the playground ish. There
That's
had been some talk of adding a QR code to the signs too, but that didn't seem to come up in the information they sent us.
No, I was just going to say they're not regulatory. So you can't issue a ticket against them. So in this case, they're advisory. They're just to let people.
There to let people know, but there also would be a sign that says violation of rules would have a maximum fine of $300 per.
But you put up a sticker. You didn't put up a regulation. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
and,
and
you'd have to post that board, not just at the parking lot, but at every entrance.
Right, and that was the proposal. That
Yeah.
there are signs at the other entrances that all would get these stickers, and there had been discussion about also putting a specific sign related, which didn't seem to wind up in the email, related to the launching of boats, and perhaps a small one at the actual Nickerson location where people have been launching.
Yes, but there was.
You don't like the stickers.
I don't like the stickers because what's to prevent me from putting up a sticker that says boat's okay?
Mhm.
What does that mean from pulling your sticker down? Nothing. It's a
Well,
sticker.
yeah.
I mean, it's good for a start, and
Mhm.
then my whole soul shudders what you're putting stickers on existing signs. I mean, oh my God, you can't do that. But
Yeah.
but forget that. So
Mhm.
I'm just saying that they're not. You would have to post the signboard, and if it's anything like the dog signs, they always, at least where I live, they post the dog signs at the beach, even though you're not allowed to walk through the parking lot. But to get to the sign, you got to walk through the parking lot,
Mhm.
so we'd have to put them in the front and see how it goes. And then over this winter, we can work on making regulatory signs that are enforceable.
Yeah.
The sticker is not enforceable.
Well,
You
right. And
need an official sign, not a sticker.
mhm. Right, because you have to really post the regulations where people
Yeah.
can see them in order to really be able to enforce them if you wanted to give a fine.
And it's got to be an official
Yeah.
sign, not a sticker.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
that's, but I mean, the
So,
idea is,
so yeah, the idea is something to go up for this summer because it's um, kind of late to be working on actual physical signs that,
yeah, yeah. So Silvio told me he can make any sign anytime.
well, he's no longer here.
I know that, but he said he has capability. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I agree. We don't have time to do that. So we can put up stickers knowing that they're not enforceable.
Yeah, but I'm also thinking that maybe there also should be a QR code so that people can um, look at the stickers, scan the code, and have access to the full regulations if they are so inclined.
But again, that's not enforceable.
Right,
That's a
I
good idea.
understand.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So are we going to say to the Open Space Committee that we're okay with that for this year?
Yeah.
But
Well,
in the fall and for next season, we'd like to see actual regulatory signs. And if I guess if they're not going to work on that, then it's something that we need to take on.
I can help them with that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I have a quick question that is not helpful at all, but
Uh-huh.
it occurs to me. I'm curious, does Eastham have an official font?
Not that I'm aware.
And I'm very serious about this because, and I'll tell you why, because if we're doing signage, my place of work just recently changed its official font to make it non-serif because of ADA recommendations on having non-serif fonts to help with the low visual or visually impaired persons read signs. So just if we're trying to be inclusive,
Right.
I recommend that we print our stickers in a non-serif font. And I know that sounds humorous, but it is a legitimate point.
No, it's a very good point, and there is a push, or will be a push in the town on more ADA compliance and accessibility over the next bunch of years. And yeah, so there are sign guidelines for the ADA. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a manual
Mhm.
right there. But
Right.
anyway,
Okay. So we're in agreement that it's okay for this year.
yeah.
I think we would like a QR code to the full set of regs, or do you think that's not necessary this year?
No, it's fine. It's just that you can't
But
force someone to read it. But yeah,
right,
but put it up.
and unless you have somebody out and about, you can't actually force compliance either. You can only ask.
Right.
Um,
And it may
okay.
discourage people from doing it. I mean, some people are going to look at the sign and say, okay, I didn't know that. I'm not going to do that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
but-
people. There are a few.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So are we clear? Alex, can you let Francis know?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. and just related to the regulations, there apparently has been a slight bit of pushback on our fencing off and opening that we approved from
Really?
our usual people. And I think Francis and I had a conversation on Friday, and she's going to tactfully explain it. So, and also on regulations, I had a discussion with the Eastham part-time residents taxpayer people, and if we provide printed copies of the regulations, they'll happy to distribute them at their meeting in the early part of July, which I think maybe July 6th, and also print a copy in their newsletter and put it up on their website. So that'll get it out to a lot of people. Okay. Anything else on signage? Okay. All right. And that, anything else anybody would like to discuss? Oh, I know. I'm almost forgetting. So looking at 670 State Highway, Alex distributed a letter from the representatives of the owners withdrawing their request for DEP for a superseding order, and that basically ends the situation, and our denial is not being appealed. So
Good.
Just wanted to put a bit of a public coda on that. So as it's been a topic of conversation and recently in the Independent as well. Okay. I think that's kind of it. And we do have our executive session coming up next. And of course, Wayne will tell us it takes a moment to set that up.
It takes a moment to set that up.
Right. So I think maybe we might have a short recess and come back. Or, oh yeah, there was one other thing. As we have July 9th off and no longer have a meeting, there is a proposal that we might instead get together for a little happy hour and relaxing conversation, if you're interested. Anyway, I'll put that out. I'll send email and we can talk about it further.
Great idea.
All right.
Are we capable of relaxing conversation? I don't know.
Well, I don't know, but we won't have a quorum, so that won't be an issue. And probably the only time ever. All right. So it is now, let's say let's say we come back at 7:40.
Yes.
Okay.
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 Alrighty.
See you
And it
later.
is a different link. Just
Saw
so
that.
everybody's clear.
We have to, we're still adjourning from this though first, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I apologize for that. If we can have it's been a very long week already. If we can have a motion to adjourn, please.
I will motion to adjourn.
And a second?
Second.
Okay. I'm so embarrassed by that. Joanne?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
And I am as well. Okay.